friends. Excuse me while I insert myself from the future of the video you're about to see. Just wanted to add a couple of points. One is that I totally forgot to mention anything about skin cancer when talking about UV damage to skin. So I was so caught up in all the aging stuff, I forgot to mention a very important thing, and that is that UV rays can cause cancer, which can also then, in some cases, lead to death. Pretty important, so I wanted to add that. I will go into that in more depth when I do a dedicated video about the sun, UV damage, photoaging, etc., etc. I will definitely mention it there. And also, I am wearing a very light makeup look in the video you're about to watch, and so my nose is a little bit red. I just didn't feel like putting on a lot of makeup. I'm wearing no eye makeup in it. Whatever, just wanted to mention that. And I think that is it, so enjoy the video. Bye. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this tiny little corner of the internet. I'm just going to get into this. I've tried to set this up several times, but welcome back. And if you caught my last video, I'm hoping that that went up at least a day or two before this one is going to go up. You know that I didn't really rebrand. I actually may have finally branded, because when I started YouTube, I was kind of all over the place. I was posting quite a few different types of videos, and I've realized that what I really want to focus on is addressing life as a middle-aged woman. And there's going to be a lot about skincare, especially in these next few weeks and months, because that is one thing that I'm really fascinated with, and it turns out, according to some friends of mine, that is something that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about, which I find amazing because I have been interested in skincare for many years, but maybe I'm an anomaly. So, and I enjoy talking about it, I enjoy researching it and all of that, so I'm definitely going to be talking a lot about skincare. I'm also going to be talking about being a middle-aged person and dealing with middle aging and what's going on. And so before we leap headlong into the skincare routine and products and all of that stuff, which I'm going to do in the coming weeks, I wanted to start off with what I would call the video version of those University 100 level courses. You know, those survey courses where you go in and you learn about world history from year 0 to now. So you're not getting detail, you're getting lots of broad information. That's what this video is going to be about. It's all about what is happening with our aging skin. I thought this would be a good basis before jumping off into information about the routine itself, like the steps of the routine: cleansing and toning, moisturizing, etc., etc., etc. Understanding what's happening with aging skin. And part of the reason I want to do this is because I'm interested in what's going on, because I can tell you that my skin does not look the same as it did 5 years ago, 10, 15, 20, 25. I mean, I look back at my high school graduation photo, that is not the same face. And I personally want to know what's going on, but there are other factors going on as far as why I want to, I guess you could say, disseminate this information out. And I will get to that as we get into the video. But first of all, let's talk about some of the factors that go into what causes our skin to age. And I've got some notes over here, so I will be looking down at some points to look at those. It's just way too much. I don't have a teleprompter either, so this is a really do-it-yourself kind of operation here. So there are a lot of factors that go into what causes our skin to age. Those include things like environmental factors, our lifestyle, gravity. Yes, gravity, the thing that keeps us from flying off into space and hitting the moon, factors into our aging. We'll talk about that. Repetitive movement, even your sleep position, and also your genetic makeup. That is not an exhaustive list of factors, but those are some of the major factors that go into what is causing our skin to age. Now, to get into some of those factors a little more in depth, as far as environmental factors, probably the single biggest thing, the thing that I found amongst all of the information that I looked at when I was doing research for this, is that the single biggest thing that factors into aging, especially premature aging of the skin, is the sun. That probably doesn't come as a surprise to a whole lot of us. The sun causes a lot of damage. The UV rays from the sun specifically are what is causing that. And we'll talk a little bit about what's happening, what those UV rays are doing, and what they're damaging as we get along in this video. But the sun is one of those huge factors. So if you are a person who is out in the sun a lot, if you've been out in the sun a lot as a child or a young person, that will affect your skin. Also pollution in the air around you. If you live in a more polluted area, that can also contribute to the aging of your skin. Okay, so we've got environmental factors. Lifestyle, of course, this figures in a lot. What kind of diet do you eat? What kind of nutrition? How often are you in the sun? I mentioned the sun. Are you a person who has been a sun worshiper for many, many years? Did you go to the beach a lot as a kid? Are you a person who works a job that has you out in the sun a lot? All of those things are going to factor in. Do you smoke? Do you not smoke? What is your stress level? How do you deal with stress? There are all sorts of different things that factor into as far as our lifestyle. Smoking and poor diet. I mentioned smoking and poor diet. Smoking and poor diet can lead to the creation of what are called free radicals. If you've been following skincare at all, you probably have heard of free radicals. And in a nutshell, at a very basic level, which is about all I can handle, free radicals are once healthy oxygen molecules that have become unstable and damaging. So we need oxygen. Obviously, our bodies need oxygen, our skin needs oxygen, our whole world needs oxygen. So oxygen is really necessary, but when those atoms become overactive and unstable, they can actually cause damage, and that's what free radicals are. So as our skin is under stress, those free radicals can form and can, in turn, contribute to skin damage and also some of those signs of aging. So we've got that. I mentioned gravity. Gravity does play a part in our aging. I have jowls where I didn't before. My eyelids are drooping. That's gravity at work. Gravity is wonderful. As I mentioned, gravity keeps us from flying off into space, which is great, but it does pull down on our skin, and as our skin loses its elasticity, and I will talk about elasticity in just a minute, as that's happening, our skin is going to sag, and that's another telltale sign of the aging process. As that skin loses elasticity, it starts to droop. If you've ever noticed older people who have really long earlobes that are longer than if you look at them in pictures from when they were younger, your earlobes will keep growing partly because of gravity. So gravity is going to be contributing to those signs of aging. Repetitive movement is another big one. Think of smile lines. Think of the grooves in your forehead. I have these wonderful grooves in my forehead. That is because I tend to lift my eyebrows a lot when I'm talking and expressing myself. And all of that movement over the years is cumulative, and it causes that skin to crease and to stay creased. So the skin is not bouncing back like it used to. So those repetitive movements can lead to some of those wrinkles and lines that we associate with aging. Sleep position also. Think about if you sleep primarily on one side or the other, your skin may begin to show age because of that, because those sleep positions will put creases into your skin that as it loses elasticity, it can't shake off. It can't uncrease like it did when it was younger. Okay, so I mentioned elasticity, and I think this is really important to go over because this is a huge thing that is causing some of these changes in your skin as you age. So elasticity is basically the ability for your skin to bounce back. And I'll give you the dictionary definition of elasticity. Elasticity is the ability of an object or material to resume its normal shape after being stretched or compressed. Stretchiness. Think of a rubber band. Think if you take a rubber band out of a package, it's fresh, it's new, it's not been used. You stretch it, it should go back. When you release it, it should go back to its original state pretty quickly and easily. And the first few times you use it, it will probably do that. But as you continue using that rubber band and stretching it out, it will eventually not go back to that original shape. It's going to start getting stretched out. Your skin is very much the same way. Your skin will eventually, over the years, lose elasticity. And there are two factors that go into elasticity. Well, two of the main factors are collagen fibers and elastin fibers. Collagen fibers are what will give support to your skin, and elastin is what will provide flexibility, and strength. So as we age, our skin is no longer producing collagen and elastin like it used to. And that's all, those factors are also getting damaged. So as we get older, that collagen and elastin isn't reproducing like it used to, so we have less, and it's also being damaged by things like UV rays and other factors. And as that happens, when those two fiber molecules go down, as we have less of them, our skin can't bounce back. Just like that rubber band, as it got stretched out over years, over uses and uses, your skin's the same way. It's not going to bounce back. So you're not going to be able to bounce back and be supple the way it was when you were younger. So elasticity is a huge factor in how young or how old a skin looks, and that's going to contribute to that look of aging. So those things that you're noticing, a lot of that is related to that loss of elasticity. Okay, so we've got factors that go into what's going on with our skin and why it's aging. So what is that exactly is happening as we age? Well, there are probably two big things that you're noticing. You're noticing photoaging and you're noticing wrinkles. So photoaging, skin's inability to bounce back. So your skin can't bounce back like it used to, partly because UV rays damage the DNA in your skin and decrease the skin's ability to bounce back. So as that happens, your skin is not able to heal the way it used to. Your skin may tear more easily, it may bruise more easily. You'll see this especially in the elderly population. You'll notice that they often have damage to their skin because their skin simply can't heal like it used to, and much of that is caused by photoaging. You'll also notice that you're getting wrinkles, and of course those are one of the main harbingers of our aging process. As we get older, our skin will crease and it's not bouncing back, going back to that elastin and collagen, and we develop wrinkles. I mentioned the grooves in my forehead, smile lines, anything like repetitive movement, the gravity, the photoaging, all of that is factoring into wrinkles. They're caused by a lot of different factors, but it's just a natural and normal part of the aging process because your skin just isn't able to perform like it did when it was younger. And also there are things that are happening below the skin's surface, and those are called subcutaneous changes. And among those things are loss of fat. So think of a baby's chubby little cheeks, or a young kid who has, again, chubby little cheeks. That is going to diminish. Those fat stores below our skin are diminishing as we get older. And so we lose that look of fullness. And to a lot of people, a look of fullness equals youth, which again equals beauty. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But loss of fat, also the connective tissue begins to break down, which again causes slackness and causes some of the jowling and the eyelids becoming droopier and things like that. Also, skin will become more translucent because it's getting thinner, and blood vessels may show through more readily. So all of these things. If you've ever been in an assisted living location or a nursing home or anything like that, you'll notice a lot of among the population there, you'll probably see a lot of these things. The thin, almost papery looking skin, the jowling, the slackness of the skin. Also, the sebaceous glands produce less oil, so skin often becomes drier, which then exacerbates a lot of the wrinkling and the dry appearance of the skin. So there's stuff going on underneath the skin in addition to on top of the skin. So you might be wondering, why am I making such a big deal about this? Why did I research this to find all of this out? Besides the fact that maybe I'm just a bit of a masochist and I want to torture myself finding out what's going on. That's really not what it is. But I do believe that knowledge is power. And what you'll notice if you haven't noticed already, when you start looking at the advertising and the marketing copy on a lot of your skincare and quote-unquote anti-aging products, you're going to notice a lot of the verbiage that addresses things. Think of neck firming creams. They're addressing this idea that you're losing firmness, and that is absolutely a sign of aging, losing firmness in your skin, or products that talk about reducing the appearance of wrinkles. Notice they don't say they will get rid of wrinkles, because there's really almost nothing that will do that, except maybe major surgery. But you're going to start noticing that there's a lot of marketing copy and a lot of hype about treating signs of aging, and that is because our youth-obsessed society has decided that aging is bad, that being an older person is bad. When you become older, you become irrelevant. You are no longer as valuable. You no longer matter as much as a younger person. Those companies know that that is what society is telling us, and they know that there is a lot of fear and a lot of desperation associated with our confronting of this aging process. So for those of us in middle age, we're looking at this world that is changing, and we're looking at how we're being treated, or other people, maybe our peers in our same age cohort, are being treated. And it's scary. And we think, well, maybe if I look younger, that'll make me more palatable, that will make me more valuable. The beauty industrial complex knows that this is happening. And so they are going to put that to use, and they are going to use a lot of marketing copy and certain verbiage and things like that to sell their products. And the more you know about what's actually going on in your skin and what's happening, the better prepared you are to figure out if a product is worthwhile, okay, or not worthwhile at all. And definitely going to be talking about that as we go along in this journey, because I think it's really important. I think it's important that we stay very informed about what's going on within us and how that is being played on or preyed upon, if you want to even look at it that way, by the companies that are out there wanting to sell us stuff. So that's why I think it's important to know what's actually happening. And like I said, this was not an exhaustive look at that. This was a 100 level survey course. But I think this information is really important so you know how to move from here to figuring out what to do about it. So what can we do about signs of aging? Well, there are quite a few things that we can do to confront those signs, to either prevent them from happening if they haven't already started, or to help slow some of that down. Probably the most important thing is to protect your skin from the sun. Use sunscreen, use hats, clothing, avoid being out in the sun during the sunniest days, the sunniest hours of the day. Be really careful about your sun exposure, because, as I mentioned earlier, sun is one of the biggest factors in aging, especially premature aging. So people who start showing those signs of aging before they typically would if they were not exposed to the sun. So huge important thing is to protect yourself from the sun. Eat a healthy diet, whatever that healthy diet is to you. Keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, whatever it is. Eat a healthy, balanced diet with lots of good whole food nutrition. Get lots of sleep. Reduce your stress if you can. That can be difficult, certainly. But if you can do some of those things, that can help. If you smoke, stop. And if you don't smoke, don't start. Smoking, again, helps to cause some of those free radicals to form and helps to exacerbate aging. It also dehydrates and can cause other damage to the skin. In addition, alcohol. Be careful about your consumption of alcohol and try to keep that at a low level. You can drink alcohol, but just know that it dehydrates. So if you're drinking large quantities of it, it will dehydrate the skin, which can then help to exacerbate those signs of aging. Exercise is a great thing you can do because it increases circulation and it helps improve blood flow, which can help the skin, among other parts of your body, to function better and to just, quite frankly, look a little bit better. When you're cleansing, try to do it gently so that you're not tugging on your skin, because that tugging can help exacerbate the sagging. So you don't want to give gravity any help. And when you're using products, don't use irritating products. One of the things I'm going to be talking about in at least a future video, if not more than that, is fragrances. So you don't want to use fragranced products if you can. Don't want to use things that cause irritation, no matter what those are. Those could be good ingredients, but if they cause you irritation, don't use them, because irritation can, again, lead to the formation of free radicals. All right, so those are some of the things you can do, and you've noticed I didn't specifically mention products. I mentioned them sort of in connection to other things, and that's because lifestyle plays a huge role in our aging. We can certainly use products to help address some of these signs, perhaps prevent some of them, reduce some of those signs, but lifestyle is probably the bigger determinant of your aging than the products that you're using. So the products are a great way to support your lifestyle, but honestly, lifestyle is one of the most powerful things you can do to help address those signs of aging, to help to, in some cases, prevent them or just reduce them, slow them down, however you want to look at it. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot of information, and it was, as I said, it's like a 100 level university survey course. So this was not an exhaustive list. As I mentioned, I am not a dermatologist. I'm not a professional at this. I'm a lay person. But really what I want to leave you with is this. This is probably the best way to confront aging skin, and that is to accept the fact that we are all going to get older. We're all in the process of getting older. You have two choices. You can get older or you can die. You're still going to get old, even if you can use all of the interventions you want, all of the surgeries and the injections and the fillers and the Botox and all of that stuff, but you're still going to be getting older. You can't reverse that. So I really think, and this is something that I'm trying to do with myself, and I'd like to encourage other people to do, those of us who are in this middle age of life, who are moving into this older stage, who are feeling all these pressures from society around us, let's confront that. Let's not let our Western youth-obsessed culture get the better of us. I know that can be easier said than done, and some of us are in positions where that's going to be very difficult. I'm looking at going back into an industry, the entertainment industry, that is notoriously and horrendously youth-obsessed. It loves young people, and it's known to not be very kind towards old people. So I think that it's something that is really valuable for us to look at ourselves and say, you know what, I want to become more accepting of the fact that I'm getting older and be okay with some of those signs of aging. Not feel like I have to I want to try and look like I'm younger than I am, but embrace the fact that I'm 48 years old and I have gray hair and I have forehead lines. And yeah, my eyelids are kind of drooping and they're not the same eyelids that I had 10 years ago. And my days of winged liner may be numbered, and that's okay. Be more accepting of that. Be accepting of the fact that you're getting older and be okay with that, because you being older means nothing about your worth as a human being. And I know that's just me saying that, but I'm hoping that society can catch up to that. And if more of us accept that we're aging and don't fall for some of the rhetoric and the marketing hype about aging, if more of us say, you know what, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with looking this way. And I certainly want to do as much as I can within certain boundaries to look as good as I can at this age, but I'm okay with being 48, and that is all right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that this inspires some of you out there to get more knowledge about what's going on with your skin and your body and society around you. And I'm hoping that I may inspire at least a few people out there to not fall for some of the stuff that's being thrown at us from the world around us, and to be happy with who you are and be accepting of who you are right now. No matter what you look like, no matter how many wrinkles you have, no matter how many forehead lines might be appearing, no matter how much you are drooping, you are still a valuable and beautiful human being. If this was valuable to you, I am hoping that you will hit that like button. If you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe. And I'm going to leave you with a throwback track, because we might be middle-aged, but we had some really awesome music when we were in our 20s. And one that I would like to link to, that was when I listened to this song just a few days ago, nostalgia hit me over the head with a 2x4. It is Material Issues Valerie Loves Me. I remember listening to that when I was in my 20s, and boy did it take me back. So I'm going to link to that down below. So have fun with that, because you know what, we may be older, but we can still be hip. And we can still show all of those youngins that we listened to some pretty awesome music when we were growing up. So thank you so much, and I hope you will join me again. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again. Bye.